Oh my gosh, you're here!
Welcome to My Chatbot Life, where chatbot marketers share high converting strategies in this new conversational marketplace. Each week, MKJ introduces you to bot builders who are just like you, a little techie, a little markety, and a whole lot of geeky. Buckle up as Chatbot Mom enjoys another journey into My Chatbot Life.
Hey there, bot buddies, my chatbot lifers. All right, you know the gentleman that's on my screen if you are watching this in video. And if you're listening, you'll know in short order who I'm speaking to, Mr. Mike Yan of ManyChat. Hello there. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Thank you, Mary, for having me on the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, the show is called My Chatbot Life. So I can't talk about chatbots without talking to you. You were the first, one of the two first chatbot platforms I used, and the one that I chose because of the marketing bent that you have. You were completely geared toward marketers, and that's what I consider myself. Especially, I don't know if you remember that I got to be in San Francisco with you, with Andrew Warner and Dan Gamito and Kelly Garrett, and I got to play with a flow builder before it was actually released. That was one of the most exciting, I know I'm a geek, but totally most exciting days, most exciting evenings and days of my life, really. So we're here to talk about our chatbot life, and we're not going to go into the details of history of what you did before ManyChat. That's all over the internet. So if you want to know Mike's life before that, go check it out. I want to start with the start of ManyChat and the Facebook Messenger. And if you could just answer me one question, since over the last 5 years almost, what has been one of the biggest business obstacles you've had to face in growing ManyChat, and how did you overcome it?
That's a great question. The biggest obstacle to growing ManyChat. I would say one of the top things is definitely the changes around that were happening around Facebook, like since the launch, because I think whatever the rules are, as long as they're consistent, it allows for the industry to settle in and to find the ways to use the platform. But when the rules are changing, certain features are getting released, certain features are getting deprecated, it creates a sense of uncertainty within the market, and it, like the growth is not as fast as it could be if there was just a set of rules that was propelled for like years to come. So I think that's one of the things. But on the other hand, I don't want to be like picking on this is not to say like this is Facebook is doing something wrong or anything.
No.
They've enabled us to be on the platform, and we are forever grateful for that, because of the fact that they opened up the APIs, and we were able to build a platform and serve all the businesses and customers around the world. So, but that fact, I think, is one of the things that's there. The other thing would be just in terms of product, when we have a lot of customers around the whole world, literally hundreds of thousands of pages connected to ManyChat and in over 150 countries. And it's really hard from a product standpoint to really nail product with such a horizontal appeal, who you listen to, and how do you prioritize features when your developer resources are limited. I think that's a very big question, because if you listen to different segments of customers, they will pull you in completely different directions.
Yes.
And if they are pulling you in completely different directions, you might be actually making bad choices. So that's definitely been a challenge. I hope that given our reviews and the love that we're getting from customers, we've navigated that somewhat good. But I think there is always like when I'm looking at this in hindsight, there are certain things that could be done better. On the other hand, I don't have any regrets. I think that we've it's been an amazing ride. So those would be the two things that I mentioned.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I would agree with you. The ride has been incredible, and I definitely want to tackle that and how you handle that that whole change landscape, because we live in that. I mean, we live in constant change, not just with Facebook, but with technology, but specifically with this API, with this ability. But I've got to kind of mention a little bit about this this choice. So you chose to go horizontal in
Yeah.
the platform and basically provide it for everyone and anyone doing anything. And I can see that the difficulty would be that if there's a certain vertical or a certain niche or a certain type of customer and they want something specific, if there's a large enough, that's why you have the ability for many of us to come into certain conversations with the ManyChat devs and ask certain questions or participate in raising our hand and voting on what might be coming next. But that was a choice, right? I mean, you could have only gone to a particular type of customer or vertical instead of horizontal. What made you make that choice?
I think it was the fact that we haven't had a background in any certain industry. I think with the way that products evolve is usually there is a vision, there is a founding type of DNA behind the product, and that gets unfolded and gets like a fractal. That seed just explodes and grows. And I think that our DNA was always around being a platform and not being vertical specific. That said, I'm not saying that like I'm seeing a lot of vertically specific successful startups, not specifically in the chatbot space, but just generally. I think as a strategy that definitely works. We're just not. We weren't coming from that space, like from a specific vertical type of space. So I think that's the result of our vision and the way that we feel about the platform and about the features and how we think about the platform. We always were thinking about how can we make it more abstract, more flexible, more packageable and modularized, and extensible through apps. So those types of things, that was always a part of the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I've seen both sides and, more horizontal and more vertical. Okay. So change. I'll tell you, at the end of last year, I just did a solo episode. I recorded a solo episode earlier today about the fact that, I almost got to the point where I was quitting. I was done with chatbots. I was so frustrated and very, very disheartened at the end of last year, around the time of the election and the whole COVID and how Facebook's algorithm was so sensitive and so difficult to navigate. It really, I had never even ever considered leaving chatbots until at the end of that, when I lost 5 of my large clients who were just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't put my revenue at jeopardy. And it was really difficult. But as we all do, this whole chatbot future has grabbed me by the throat and it has not let go. So I can't give up. But I had to really call on some very specific resilience that I have in order to keep going. How do you do it? How do you build your platform on another platform and navigate that change and stay forward thinking, stay positive, and keep growing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that resiliency is a skill that is like acquired. Like your skin just gets hardened by going through turbulence enough times where afterwards it's just another earthquake or storm that you're passing through. In the end, I think the key thing for us is that what I have to remind the team, the customers, the partners, the investors, and even more importantly, myself, is that ManyChat is not built on a certain type of technology or a specific app or anything else. The foundation of ManyChat is built around a fundamental customer shift and the way that customers have shifted in terms of how they communicate. And I think that's one of the most important things. That shift has happened when mobile phones came out, mobile internet came out, and messaging apps came out. And so when we shifted from email and things like SMS and voice calls to over-the-top messaging apps, chatting, stickers, voice messages, pictures, Instagram stories, that type of communication. And that is the fundamental shift that is not going away. Right. The other thing that is not going away is the fact that platforms are continuing to open up their APIs and not close them. So Facebook has opened up their APIs 5 years ago. It's been 5 years since Facebook opened up their APIs. That's quite some time. But sure, there were changes in policies and everything else, but what happens is that Facebook continues to open up the APIs. Now with the new platforms coming up, and we can talk about that too, but with Instagram coming out, with WhatsApp coming out, you can see that that shift is not going in the other direction, even though what Facebook is trying to do is they're trying to figure out the right way to open up the APIs so that the platform doesn't become spammy, so that the platform doesn't become that doesn't impact the end user experience in a negative way, but it is going in that direction. And you can see that not only from Facebook, but from Apple, iMessage, from Google Business Messages, from Telegram, all of the major platforms are going into that direction. And that is because opening up the APIs allows those platforms to facilitate commerce and valuable business conversations that are happening through the chat surfaces of those apps. And I think given the fact that consumer attention is there and the platforms are invested and see their financial success tied to opening up their APIs, you get that amazing mix of customer attention is there, platforms want it, and businesses can get amazing results by automating and doing also manual conversations on those platforms to increase their conversion rates and provide better customer service, do better marketing, do better sales. So overall, when you have that vision and you have that more of a longer term type of mindset, then everything else that is going up and down throughout the month, throughout the quarters, even throughout the years becomes much less important compared to the broader picture and where the company is going in 5, 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really easy to get scared when you get tunnel vision. Mm-hmm. As soon as you expand your understanding, then you see, oh, this is a temporary dip that is going to go away in the quarter, in 2 quarters. Doesn't really matter. As long as you're resilient enough to stay for that amount of time, then all is going to be fine, and you're going to continue driving that market and be the leader in that market and grow. And then once actually it's going to purify in a way, that market is going to decrease competition in a lot of ways and make it easier for you to win once it starts growing again and becomes big again. So that was our approach, and it paid off. So I think that's if we're looking for short, bite-sized advice, I would say, as long as you can keep the longer term vision and not get tunnel vision, you're probably going to get out of that more emotional state. And also for us as a company, let's be clear, it's much easier for us than for a smaller business, because we have a lot of bets hedged across tens of thousands of customers. Even if some portion of some market is affected, like for example, Europe was affected last year, right? On the other, and I think when the news broke out, everybody in Europe was like freaking out and like, oh, this is the end, this is it, etc. 2 months later, Facebook like is we're rolling back everything and it's going to be good. Just give us like another 3 months. And right now we're getting more and more features back, and everybody in Europe is like, oh yeah, okay, we're back. So it just shows you that those changes are usually temporary. And as long as you're aligned with Facebook and everything else, that you're going to be in a good position. Now, back to my point, for us, it's easier because we have a much more stronger position in terms of that we're hedged across a lot of markets, a lot of different industries. If you're a smaller business or an agency with, let's say, 10 clients and you lose 5 of those clients, that's a very material impact. And it gets personal. It gets like, how are you going to be like, you're making less money? Like it becomes much harder. And that's going to make you more emotional, and that's going to be clouding judgment. And so I think be like still understanding that chat is the future. I think that's inevitable. That's already happening, but also probably in a way diversifying your bets to make yourself, because if you're smaller, then I would suggest diversifying and also learning. If you're in the US, learning how to use SMS. If you're international, learning how to use email, and making sure that your whole business isn't reliant on just one platform in terms of like, be it Facebook Messenger or any other platform, I think is an important skill. And because if it is, then you can run into those things and they can hit you harder than somebody who's more diversified. So that would be an actionable suggestion.
Absolutely.
Even though it's kind of like less, we do have email and SMS, but like I'm here to, like, if you even use any other platform for like an email service provider or SMS provider, doesn't matter. Like just for your own sanity, just don't put all of your eggs in one basket, and that will keep you from those risks where something goes wrong and like everything starts to go sideways.
Absolutely. I agree with everything you just said. And 2 things that I'd like to point out to people. Number one is the idea that if you let your emotions get to you, even if you are a smaller business and you only have 10 clients and you lose 5 of them, yes, that can, in that less experienced entrepreneurial space, really make you think this is me and it's something I did wrong and my company's not good, or all those things. And you'll get caught up in that emotion and follow it to stopping, to shutting it down, or totally going some other direction. When I was talking about myself feeling that way, it was more for the roller coaster of not being able to help my clients create the conversations that I knew they could create and still generate that income until Facebook kind of settled down. We could do SMS, we could do email, we could do all those things, but the actual conversations, the way we had done them, the way we had been performing them, which were according to what we knew was the rule, I just couldn't, that whole uncertainty of, is it going to get better? Am I going to still be able to do this legally? It was just so uncertain. But the thing that kept me going, the second thing I wanted to point out, is just what you said. The future is these kinds of conversations. This is the future. Conversations like this in chat, in DMs, in these messaging platforms, that is the way customers are going to choose. I've done all kinds of, one of the best prospecting, okay? People listening to me, agencies, one of the best prospecting things you can do is go to a Facebook page. If they have that little chat bubble or chat that pops up, and it's the canned suggestions or questions from Facebook, from the back end of their Facebook page, but it's not a bot. And you click one of those, what are your hours, or how much do what's your pricing? You click it and there's no automation. Just wait for how long it takes for someone to get back to you, and then use that one thing to say, how do you think your customers would respond if they got an immediate answer to this question? You're almost there. Let me actually automate the rest of the conversation for you. If you just do that with ManyChat, you will get so many more customers because they will see the value. They're halfway there. That's the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. But yeah, this is the future. So that's the reason I didn't leave. I know these kinds of conversations. My only question is, I really would love it if we had phone numbers, cell phone numbers as our identifiers rather than emails. But that'll come, I'm sure. I'm sure that'll come.
Cell phone numbers as our identifiers. Can you,
like instead of opting in with email or purchasing things with emails, we're going toward phone number as our identifier,
yeah,
our unique identifier rather than an email, because
you
people,
mean like as end customers?
yeah. People have 10 different emails. And so they come into Facebook, and we give them that little thing saying, hey, what's your phone number? And Facebook populates it with their phone number from 11 years ago. And that's a different email than the one they used to purchase. And then we've got to use all kinds of connection and integrations and all that stuff to identify that person. If we just had the phone, I only know one person who has 2 cell phones, and she was kind of crazy.
Now you know 2 people, because I have 2 cell phones because of my international travels and everything else. I'm going to Armenia in 1 week. I'm going to be probably buying a local SIM card for a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you travel, then this is actually why WhatsApp is so popular, because like it doesn't, or Telegram or other messaging apps, because you don't have to change phone numbers to connect with the people who you're already connected with, and you can phone them and you can video call them, and without like the hassle of having to switch SIM cards or anything else. So anyway,
yeah, definitely. I will definitely get all my family onto WhatsApp when I visit Europe again, hopefully whenever they open up for me to be able to do that. Okay, so that was an amazing obstacle, and resilience really was the key to being able to overcome the changes. Not just resilience, but also realizing that this is the future and not putting all your eggs in one basket. You guys really diversified fast. I mean, you brought in email, you brought in SMS. I know you've now also made sure that if someone unsubscribes from, let's say, Messenger, they don't unsubscribe completely from ManyChat, so that we can actually communicate the rest.
Like, that was a really funny conversation. Like there was in the comments. I was like reading somebody's like, if you haven't listened to your investors, like I'm like this doesn't make any sense, because if we actually would do this, because this, if you unsubscribe and we unsubscribe you from other channels, that actually decreases the contact count. So we are losing money because of that. That's clearly a bug. But anyway, yeah, like I think we fixed that. Did we already fix that?
I believe so. Yep.
Okay.
I saw something. I remember going, oh, yay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I believe so.
But yeah, we diversified. Like back in 2019, we introduced 2 new channels, email and SMS. And yeah, now I think we should mention this. If you're waiting, like Instagram, the huge news is that Instagram is around the corner. It's coming soon. If you're one of the people who is really thinking about how can you automate messages on Instagram, you should sign up for our beta. I'm gonna do a plug here. You should go to manychat.com/Instagram /Instagram. There's gonna be a form to fill out. It's just 1 minute, but it will give you a chance to get your hands on the IG automation features before anybody else in the market. We cannot guarantee everybody will get into the beta. There is a limit. There is a approval process, but like you should take that chance. Definitely sign up for the beta, and manychat.com /Instagram. Join the waitlist. Overall, it's going to be amazing, because right now everybody has to do like basically virtual assistants. Like there's no way to officially, without getting like risk of getting banned by using like black API techniques. Like if people use somebody right now without the like Facebook's blessing, they're risking their page getting banned. Like we are in an official partnership. We've been in beta for Instagram since like fall last year, and now This is it's right around the corner, and it's going to be really, really awesome when we're able to get everybody into this. The things that you could do, just to give you an example of the use cases, you're going to be able to say, for example, have a story and ask people to send you a keyword. So like, say you're an author, you say like, hey, do you want to get a free chapter of my book? Message me ebook to my DM me ebook, or DM me any coupon, discount, webinar, free training, like whatever that keyword is, you can set it up so that when people message you that keyword, you automatically deliver that value. That's like one-shot type of automation that you could do. Now, the cooler thing that you could do is you can actually use that to capture emails and phone numbers. So you can say like, hey, get my free chapter. When the person messages you the keyword, you can say, hey, where should I send you the free chapter? What's your email? Now people message you the email. Now you're using your Instagram automation to grow your email list and to convert your Instagram followers into actually an email list. Same thing exactly with phone numbers. You could also do things like lead qualifications. If you're an agency, you can say like, hey, what business are you in? What's your marketing budget? Are you looking to hire an agency right now? And based on those questions and results, you can actually either get on that live chat right away and notify yourself and say like, oh, I should be right there right now. Or you could be like, maybe you should like, here's a free training. Like if it's somebody who has a low, like small marketing budget and is not a fit for your company, you can just redirect them to some content that you've put out and also give value, but not waste your time for somebody who's not going to be a fit for your current business. Quizzes, like quizzing the people and then directing them to the right product recommendation. There's so many things that you could do with automation at scale. And this is what we're very, very much excited about. There's so many businesses who are already leveraging Instagram. And yeah, we're super excited about that. So yeah, everybody should be checking it out. So.
Absolutely. I agree. And especially with, I would imagine, like you were talking about with Facebook rolling this out into Instagram, that they learned a lot from the rollout of Messenger, and they learned what worked, what didn't work, what they were comfortable with, what they weren't comfortable with, because of course their whole focus is community and, everybody, communicating. The communication was the key, not obviously selling. You do that in ads, right? So with Instagram, I imagine that they've taken some of the things that they learned from Messenger, and now, do you know why they're starting specifically with keywords and they're not using like ref URLs or anything else like that? Or like
I think
swipe
it's just
up?
easier. I think it's just easier for them to start with that. I do believe that a lot of other features are going to be coming to the platform soon. But I think it's just because they want to take it step by step and expand those features as they go. So yeah, I think it's a matter of development resources and less of a question around like some philosophical change in approach.
Yeah. It's wonderful, the fact that because you've always been saying, I remember way back in the first Conversations conference, and you were talking about it's switching to mobile was what you were talking about then. And then of course the 2019 conference, it's like it's mobile now, and all the omni-channel idea has been around for a couple of years. But what we're talking about with omni-channel is mainly lead generation across all these platforms. And then when you bring them into your bot, wherever that is, the first thing you need to do is get them into your sandbox, your platform, whether that's email, whether that's SMS, so that you can capture that data, you can capture that subscriber off of these social platforms and put it onto something that you can actually manage. That's what omni-channel means to me. It's all the lead generation you can do anywhere, everywhere, and then bring them into whatever you can, that you own, that you can be able to then manage the conversation. And ManyChat has us do that in ManyChat. We can have them an email list and an SMS list in addition to Facebook Messenger. So I'm sure you're going to do the same thing with Instagram, right?
Yes, exactly. This is exactly what we were planning to do with Instagram, which is it's going to be another channel. There's nothing, it's like there are a lot of specific things about it, but for our philosophy, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Perfect. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So guys, you've been hearing, I mean, you've got this from Mike, who has grown an incredible company over the last 5 years. Actually, April 2016, I believe, was when Mark Zuckerberg announced that the API was opening for Messenger. So we're exactly 5 years later, 5 years in about a week, right? And
exactly, like it was actually not it was April 12th, 2016. So it was like literally 5 years ago in 3 days.
Yes, exactly. And so that's only been 5 years. So look at this. You have just gotten some incredible advice from a man who has taken a company from 0 to, beyond 60 in those 5 years, in those 4.5 years, and just really been able to adapt quickly and effectively, listen to his audience, find out what his audience needs, adapt the company to actually provide the solution for those needs, and continue to do so. This isn't something where he just reached the pinnacle and he's done and we're done and we can just use ManyChat exactly the way it is. That's not how technology works. So hopefully you are taking notes and you are becoming much more resilient and less emotional, and absolutely keeping your pulse on this future of chatbots, because that's exactly where Mike is. So thank you for that. Personally, I've got to say, when you talk about resilience, I didn't see you on social media very much before, but I'm seeing you a lot on social with your private life, where you're out hiking and you're out swimming and you're out doing all these things. I imagine that the answer to this would be yes, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
Is that vital for your success in your job and for directing your company? Is it vital to have that private time?
Probably yes. I would
maybe
say
not.
I would say that obviously, like, everybody needs private time. I think the reason that I wasn't on social for the I wasn't really active for the past few years, and the reason for that was because the job was taking all of that time, and there wasn't a lot of. It seems that there wasn't a lot of upside in doing that, in terms of I already get enough social connections and giving and receiving attention throughout the days and weeks of just working, that just doesn't create too much more value on top of that. Now with the Instagram opening up, one of the things that I wanted to try is to go deeper into the platform, because I am ultimately still deep into the product, and sure, we there's right now over 130 people in ManyChat, and you would think that we already that the CEO doesn't do product anymore, right? But I very much continue to be heavily involved in the product decisions and conversations, at least, and influencing those. And I wanted to act as a beta tester and really dive deeper into what we have to offer. And because when that happens, the team sees that it's not just a business; it's people care about the quality and about the outcome, and that creates a whole new fractal in terms of it creates a culture of people giving caring. I would say giving a damn, right? But basically it's I think it's very important. There is products that have a soul, and I think everybody of us have experienced sometimes when products have been done just by people who are doing their job. I think you can tell the difference.
Yes.
And I hope that ManyChat creates that feel of people who are actually putting their blood, sweat, and tears into making something special. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're basically acting as an influencer using the platform just like any other influencer would, micro or macro or whatever, and so that you can.
We got to grow my Instagram, by the way, Mary. Let's pump up my subscribers, because I just started growing it and I only have 2,000 subscribers. So
oh my god, well, we got to change that. All right, give me the handle. I know what it is, but give me the handle. I'm already a follower.
mike.d.yan on Instagram. So it's mike.d.yan, or you can just search for Mike Yan and Mike YAN. And yeah, please follow me if you're interested in everything chat marketing, automation, ManyChat focused, like behind the scenes, because I'm dropping some of the stuff that's you're not going to see even in our Facebook community or anywhere else. Just some of the designs, some of the things that are getting released, some of the news or the conversations that we're having. So if you're a marketer who wants to be on the edge of chat marketing technology, yeah, feel free to follow. By the way, I also have a really interesting giveaway for your listeners that we didn't even discuss. It was a surprise.
Hey, I'm all up for surprises. Go for it.
So basically, what we've done is we've created the flow that will allow people to experience Instagram automation, and we've created a special keyword for it. If you the way that basically this is what this will allow you to do. Two things. You will experience Instagram automation in the wild, like yourself, literally touching the buttons and seeing how it works. And also you're going to have a chance of winning 1 month of ManyChat Pro for free. So a coupon for 1 month of ManyChat Pro. What you have to do that, to see the Instagram automation, is go to open Instagram and search for ManyChat HQ. So ManyChat HQ, ManyChat HQ. Search for that account and send the message Mary, Mary, just 4 letters, Mary. Send that to our account on IG, ManyChat HQ, and you will experience IG automation for yourself and also get a chance to win 1 month of free ManyChat Pro. You'll do it right now. It's going to, even if you don't win the coupon, you're going to see the Instagram automation. That's the whole thing. That's the number one thing. But also a lot of you will win, because the chance of winning, I actually set it really high, over 50%. So just so you know, So you
better go do it, guys. Get out there, get your IG.
It's in your favor. So
the odds, yes.
Mary, send the word Mary, Mary, to ManyChat HQ on Instagram. That's it.
There you go. And I'll tell you, I got to experience this probably maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. You were on Clubhouse,
yeah,
one of the clubs doing it. And that was the first time I got to experience it. And it had a couple of glitches the first time, but just like anything else, I remember what we've gone through with chats and ManyChat way in the beginning and things. I mean, this is just normal for new stuff, guys. So, but I think that's already done. Since then, I've definitely done a few of these, and everything's working beautifully and smoothly. So go to, mike.d.yan, Y-A-N, for his personal Instagram, and then ManyChat HQ. Go put that keyword Mary, and let me know. Let me know how it goes. All right, so we get to the end where I'm going to get a little philosophical, and I don't know how much we didn't give poor Mike very much time to prepare for this, so he's gonna come off the fly. But you all know how I end this podcast, and that is many years from now, because I think we're going to live to at least 150. So many years from now, you'll be looking back on your life, and someone, because you are this incredibly futuristic guy, will be writing your biography. What would the title of your biography be?
I've actually thought about this for a few minutes while we were talking, and I don't have a clever title for it, so I'm just gonna call it "It Is What It Is."
Well,
it's gonna be just "It Is What It Is."
I think that's a pretty clever title. I think so. And who would you like to write that biography?
I think I would do it myself, actually.
You would do it yourself. Yeah. It's going to be a memoir. Yes. It's going to be an autobiography.
Probably, yes. I would. By that time, my copywriting skills should be good enough for me to maybe it would be like a interactive chatbot biography where
There you go.
you go and experience and talk to the characters. Who
You
knows?
know, that's actually, there's a couple of softwares that I've looked into that actually will allow you to make your book, the electronic form, obviously, interactive. There's
Wow.
one that I used to know that was called Beneath the Ink, and you could
Mm,
actually go beneath. It's like a couple layers deep, a particular statement. You could click on it and go deeper into the research. It's pretty cool.
nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And then, all right, you would write your autobiography. By that time, we're talking way into the future, and you look back on your life. What quote do you think you would want representing the way you lived your life? Remember, you're at the end and you're looking back, and you look back on your life thinking, how did I live my life? What quote would represent the way you lived your life? Doesn't have to be a famous quote. It could
Mm,
just be you. I mean, it is what it is, but yeah. But it's
a good. That would be. I would use that, but uh, there is one quote by Rumi that's actually will go against the title and the comedic nature of it, but it goes something like, "Don't look at my face, take what is in my hand." So that will be something like that.
I have a feeling there are going to be many things beyond ManyChat, and I know you probably aren't thinking beyond ManyChat right now, but I know there are many, many things to come, and I can't wait to see what you create next or how this morphs. But I know other things are on the horizon. So thank you. Thank you for taking this time. I very much appreciate your very busy schedule and taking this time to chat with us. Thank you for the gift and the keyword in IG. And I just can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the My Chatbot Life podcast. To watch this video chat, visit mychatbotlife.com and get all the rocket boosters you need for your own chatbot success.